We're making egg roll bowls and there's actually no egg in this dish. It's usually just an egg wash on the outside of a flour and water pastry that's wrapped with this filling in the center of it. Don't go in the comments like, this is clickbait, blah, 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 unsubbed, all of that stuff. It is the name of the dish and I don't make this stuff up. And this is an absolutely incredible dish. It's super simple and it's perfect for taking out of the house. It's really good on nutrition as well, 384 calories per portion. The rest of the macros will be included in the rest of the video, so make sure you watch out for that. And let's jump straight in and get this done. Now for the prep, we're going to need 350 grams or 12.3 ounces each of red and white cabbage. You can also use wonbok or Chinese cabbage if you prefer. For this, I'm going to separate the layers. It's going to make it so much easier to slice. Then go through and slice these into ribbon cuts, also known as chiffonade, which is just cutting these into those nice thin strips, similar to what you'd get in a coleslaw mix. What you're looking for is something that looks like this. Along with that, we're going to need 3 medium to large size carrots. You don't have to worry about peeling them or taking off both ends. Just give them a quick wash and then run them along the larger side of a box grater. If you prefer, you can cut this up by hand, slicing them into strips and then cutting them into the julienne cut, also known as matchstick cut, but it's so much easier to run it along the box grater. In this bowl, I've got 6 cloves of garlic and 15 grams or 0.3 ounces of peeled ginger. I've ran both of these along a microplane to create pastes. You can roughly chop it, but a paste is going to be so much easier to mix through all of our ingredients and you don't have any of those chunks, and you're going to get a better flavor out of the garlic and the ginger. Last but not least, for the knife prep, we're going to need 4 spring onions or scallions. Slice these the whole way across into thin rounds. You can do it on an angle if you prefer that little bit of extra presentation. And it's okay to mix the greens with the whites for this one. You can separate a little bit of that green stem and save it for garnish later on, or you can cut a little bit extra for that. That choice is all yours. In the bowl with both cabbages, we can add all of that grated or julienne carrot, as well as those 4 spring onions or scallions. An optional ingredient to add is about half a cup or 100 grams of edamame beans. These are frozen. Like I said, it's completely optional. I just have these in the freezer, so I wanted to use them up. Then get in there with clean hands and mix this all together. Make sure everything's combined and evenly mixed through. And what you're looking for is something that looks like this. Also, don't be like me, use a bigger bowl. Now for our sesame soy sauce, add half a cup or 125 milliliters of low sodium soy sauce to a bowl, 2.5 tablespoons or 50 milliliters of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon or 20 milliliters of mirin, which is optional. And then get in there with a whisk and mix this all together until everything's combined. You can also season it with a little bit of ground white pepper if you prefer to, and I don't recommend adding salt just because there is still sodium in that soy sauce.
Place a large high-rimmed pan or pot over a high heat. Get the pan nice and hot, and then we're going to cover the bottom of the pan with some spray oil. You can use regular oil here, but you're looking at about 100 calories more than what spray oil is, so I do recommend using spray oil. Place in 750 grams or 1.6 pounds of beef mince, chicken mince, turkey mince, pork mince, whatever mince you need to use, and this is a fat percentage of about 5%. Season lightly with salt and then a bit more generous with some ground white pepper. Sear this for about 3 minutes on one side to get that nice golden crust, and then flip it over and repeat that same process. After about 5 to 6 minutes, we can start breaking this up, and we're going to cook this for another 2 to 3 minutes until the beef is no longer pink. Don't play around with it too much because you'll knock too much of the heat out of it, and then the meat will just end up stewing on itself. It's better to get that nice golden sear. Also, try not to make a mess where everything decides to jump out of the pan. When the beef is no longer pink and it has that nice golden sear and a little bit of that water retention has evaporated, we can add in the garlic and ginger paste. Mix this all through, mainly concentrating on breaking up that garlic and ginger paste because it can clump up. We're only going to cook this for 1 minute, mixing it around regularly so it doesn't burn, until it's fragrant and aromatic. At this stage, we can add all of those vegetables that we chopped up before, including the edamame beans if you've decided to use anything like that. Peas and corn you can also add. Let it sit for a minute to slightly soften up and reduce in size, then start mixing it all together. And we're going to cook this for about 4 to 5, maybe even 6 minutes until those vegetables are soft, but they're still al dente and have a bite. We don't want to cook this all the way down because we'll lose out on that texture, and then everything will start breaking apart. Add in the sesame soy sauce, keep this pan over a high heat and mix everything around. Cook this for a further 1 minute until that sauce is evenly incorporated throughout all of the vegetables and the beef. Check it for seasoning one last time and adjust with salt and ground white pepper, and then remove it from the stovetop. When it comes to serving up, I recommend weighing the total amount and then dividing it by 5. I'm only using 4 meal prep containers for this one because I wanted to show you me serving this in a bowl. I want to make sure that these meal prep videos can cater to everyone and not just show that it needs to be served in a glass container. I am also garnishing this with some black and white sesame seeds and the spring onion or scallion that we reserved earlier. And what we've made is this quick, simple and delicious egg roll bowl. This right here is the macros for a single portion, as well as the serving size.
Once you have these portioned out, let them cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we can start placing on the lids. They'll last in the fridge for up to 3 to 4 days and in the freezer for up to 4 months. I know some people can get funny about freezing this type of food. Definitely can be done, but when you go to reheat it, you will need to rehydrate it with a little bit of stock. For reheating, a microwave is going to be your best friend. It's the easiest thing, especially if you're taking these to work with you. Work do have a microwave. It definitely can be done in a pan. Like I said, you will need to rehydrate it with a little bit of stock, but just heat these in bursts for about 1 to 2 minutes, mixing it around every so often. As always, the last thing to do is we can then dig in. The ingredients are so simple, but there's a lot of flavor going on there. You really can taste that garlic and ginger coming through with that sauce. It's not overpowering and it's actually a really good balance. The vegetables are nice and soft, but still have that bite, creating that really nice texture. And in the meat, you don't have to use beef. You can use turkey, pork, chicken, or completely leave it out. Just add a little bit more veg, add some tofu, make it vegetarian, do whatever you need to do to make it your own. And this is a super simple dish. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, leave a comment for the algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't already, along with hitting the bell notification next to it so you don't miss when I upload. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.